Good morning, my dear friends. I'm going to speak about sense of humor in my country. The Russian people have quite developed sense of humor. Did they used to have a sense of humor in Soviet time, when we had very special system? It did exist from 1917 to 1991 for 74 years, was very controversial, and one of the main features was absence of freedom, dominance of Communist Party. There was one party political system. Communist Party ruled for 74 years. There was no political freedom, freedom of speech, and this situation, of course, affected the sense of humor. They were jokes. We still have humor, but it was Soviet type of humor, and it was very much dedicated to Communist Party, which never was mistaken, which was going from one victory to the bigger victory, which had to be only glorified. We never used to have discussions about weather, because if the weather was good, it happened because of the wisdom of Communist Party. If it was bad, due to the undermining activity of the American State Department. We had a very interesting saying: winter is over, summer is coming. Thank you, Communist Party, for this. Glory to Communist Party. Posters, glory to the Communist Party, were hanged everywhere around the country. We had no any other political parties. We had no opposition. Opposition used to be a swear word, because we were taught, we were brainwashed by communist propaganda that look at these ugly countries. They have political plurality, they have many political parties, they have ideological plurality, they have different views. It shows how weak they are, how much they are split up. And look at us, 100 million people think like one person, like Communist Party. So single-mindedness, party-mindedness was the very root of our strength. There was a saying that one is nothing, and only million together they means something. Of course, Soviet humor and Soviet jokes were different in different periods of Soviet time. There was a time when political jokes did not exist. It was Stalin's time, from 1929 to 1953, because for innocent political joke, people could be arrested, shot, put into prison, exile, and they forgot about political humor. Of course, they did not lose it. They were speaking, they were joking about something different. During the war, when we lost 27 million people, it was a big tragedy. But people used not to lose their humor. They used to say jokes, of course, about different things. For example, in 1942, the poem about ordinary Soviet soldier was written. It was called Vasily Turkin. One of the chapter in this book is called About Love. Poet wrote that now, during the war, all wives are very nice and dear, even those who were real witches before the war. Better than to sit with this witch wife in a house. I will go attacking enemy 5 times a day. And then he's saying, no, my friends, I'm joking, I'm kidding. Love of the wife is something very special. It is stronger than the war, and it is stronger than the death. In 1953, Stalin died, and Soviet system softened. Mass purges finished, and thousands of jokes started to spread. We had to speak them only by whisper, only within narrow circle of our closest friends, and only in our kitchens and it was called the kitchen democracy. Most of jokes were about Communist Party and the Soviet political system. For example, do you have your own opinion? Yes, but I don't agree with it. There was a joke about meeting of the Soviet leader, let's say Brezhnev, and American president, let's say Reagan, who used to criticize Soviet system very heavily because it was not free, people could not express their opinion, and he said, look at us, each American person could express his opinion, could come into the Times Square, Broadway, and to criticize myself, American president. And Soviet people could not do this. But Brezhnev said, you are absolutely wrong. Each Soviet citizen could come into the square or street, into the Red Square itself, and criticize American president openly and loudly. The joke about Soviet leaders. How many people do rule Soviet Union? And the answer is 1.5, evergreen Lenin and half-dead Brezhnev. It was about the time when Brezhnev could not speak, was very sick, but he had to be considered as a genius. There was a very interesting subject for jokes, eternal shortage of food, goods, deficit of everything, long queues to buy milk or bread or meat, and it was reflected very much in the Soviet humor. For example, don't you have any meat in your shop? No, it is not correct. We do not have any fish in our shop. There is a neighbor shop where there is no any meat. The joke about egg and chicken. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is, there used to be both before Soviet time. Now we have none. The joke about desert Saqqara. And it is connected with Soviet 5-year plan because everything was planned by Communist Party in accordance with 5-year term. So the question is, what would have happened if 5-year plan would be introduced in Saqqara? And the answer is nothing at first, and then sand will disappear. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev came to power, and he gave us glasnost, openness, opportunity to express our opinion, to criticize Communist Party, government, himself. And we started to do this. And political jokes almost disappeared. But the different political jokes appeared. Gorbachev started anti-alcohol company, and sailing hours for vodka were cut to 2-3 per day, so people were staying, queuing, being irritated, shouting on each other, and one of them said to another one, "Why are you staying here? Go to the Kremlin and kill Gorbachev." And the answer was, "I've been there, the queue there even longer." I think that the Soviet humor, political jokes, reflected the difference between propaganda and reality, that huge gap, and hence it was one of the tools which eventually crushed Soviet system. So today we are not Soviet country, we are not communist country, we developed democratic political system. It is another life, there is a new life, and there are new jokes. Thank you very much.